Hello, everybody. Greetings to all. Welcome to the Snooker Hole podcast. I'm Dan Murren. Q School 2025 kicks off on the 21st of May at the Batlle Arena in Leicester, and Pro Tour cards will be on the line. I'm joined today by one of those players who is vying to return to the main tour. This man came fifth on the Q Tour Order of Merit last season. He won the first event of the season in Leeds, and he was a finalist in the Q Tour playoffs in Antalya. I'm very happy to welcome Andres Petrov back to the Snooker Hall podcast.
Hi to everyone.
That's good to see you again. In terms of pronunciation, Petrov, this is what I believe is correct.
Petrov is correct, but like all the referees and all the staff always call it Petrov, which is not correct, but I kind of, got used to it. Like in tennis, they always call, those Russian or some close to Russian surnames always like, wrong, and you just get used to it because it happens all the time. So, but anyway, I mean, the way you pronounce it, I'm okay with that.
As I mentioned in the introduction, you had a respectable season on Q Tour. You won the first event of the season, and you finished fifth overall. What were your feelings on how the season went?
If you asked me before that season started, so let's say after Q school, I was like mentally I was very, very low. Not just because I fell off the tour, but I mean all the difficulties, I'm father and all the financial difficulties that came with it, were obviously like pushing me and because I really practiced hard for 2 years when I was on tour, I felt like I was really uh, a little bit done with this game. Not I mean finished, but really needed some time off. So yeah, I got my couple of months in summer, and then when I went to play first event, I didn't expect anything from myself. I was actually expecting that I might lose my first game because, you know, I had my preparation was okay, but it wasn't, long or hard. I literally came like for a couple of weeks, like for 1 or 1.5 hours, just to, to feel the cue in my arm. And uh, and then I went to win the first event and I had a couple of good comebacks and I really started playing better and better towards the end. And considering that when I played the second day, the finals day, I played 4 matches and almost 12 hours of uh, only at the table, with almost no pauses, and played my probably one of my best matches ever in the final against Ryan Thomerson. So I was really happy, and not just happy, but it was truly, unexpected for me that I could play so well without any proper preparation. But since then it really started going downwards and started feeling worse and worse mentally, not because of my results, because I felt like I can play well and I play well, but when I came somewhere around, I think it was Manchester, I think it was fourth event, uh, it was right before UK Championship, uh, when I really felt like, and I had that discussion with my wife as well, that I need to stop and, you know, how to say, rethink about what I do, why I do it, how I do it, and really needed some medical help as well, not just psychological, but I needed to go to some, doctors, because it all started really impacting my whole life, daily life, not only practice, not only tournaments, but like everything. It started being harder and harder to keep focus, to keep calm, to be motivated. Uh, to rest, which is actually very important. And and yeah, it really started being difficult. But, uh, if we talk about end of the season, like if we jump quickly, because you said I went to Antalya, got to the finals of playoffs. Uh, it was it was after a pause because after that, what happened in Manchester. I only played UK qualifiers. I lost first game, and I played in Austria, I think, Q Tour in Austria, and actually played pretty well there. I reached last 16, I think. But the point is, I didn't really compete much since Manchester. I only had two tournaments until Antalya. So basically, for I don't know 3 or 4 months, I almost didn't compete. I quitted last two Q Tour events because of that, actually, because of how I felt. That was main point. I didn't feel like uh, truly competing. I didn't want to just go and lose because I knew that I have nothing to show. Uh, and I just thought that I needed some pause, and then I went to Antalya, went with my family, uh, felt really okay there. And I think the support of my family and the fact that my daughter was watching in audience, in person, not just on TV, but she was really there, basically a couple of meters away from me, and she could really sit, for 2 3 hours, obviously with the phone watching something, but still, it was just her presence was really important. And uh, I don't think I played like really well in Q Tour playoffs, but I think the main point here is that uh, you shouldn't always play your best or even really well. You should play well enough to win, and I think that's what I did. And the best part of it was that I could really manage with myself for those few matches, because before I couldn't. I would start to struggle, and that would drown me. So yeah, I think the tournaments in Antalya were a little difference in that terms.
So maybe this could be a turning point in the way you feel about your snooker.
Uh, well, hopefully. The thing is that uh, you know. Uh, I didn't have too many competitions to really analyze myself, because I had uh those two tournaments in Antalya, Q Tour and Europeans, um, and I wasn't really healthy. So basically, I was sick before tournament, and throughout the tournament we always had, because weather was changing really much in Turkey, and we had couple of days when it was uh 27 degrees. Next day it was, I think it was -1 in the morning, so it was like jump around 30 degrees, and I felt constantly sick. And I had a week off in between of playoffs and Europeans, and I think I got sick just 3 days before my first game in the group stage of Europeans. I really felt bad, and I think throughout the group stage I never played well, because I really was struggling, just not mentally, but with my health. Like, it was really tough. But when playoffs started, I think I played a bit better. I just got really good, really well playing Barry Pinches, who outplayed me, and he's so experienced. So you never you can never know what to expect from players like him, who was like around 30 years on tour and had all the experiences you need to play well. So
Yeah, he definitely knows his way around the table.
Mm.
What's the word? He knows every trick in the book. He
yeah,
really and
he really, that was that type of game when he didn't really need to outplay me because he was playing very fluent. I think I've never seen him playing like that. He was literally putting every ball he could and clearing table and like giving me no easy chances. I think he had a quite a decent ball run as well, but I mean that's how this game works. He can have that, I can have that, everyone can have that. So he had it on that day and he played well, and so that's why I couldn't do almost anything against him.
whenever we've spoken before, I've found that your attitude has been quite positive with a lot of snooker factors. And even in, for example, when you played Florian, it must be a difficult moment to lose a match like this. But I thought you spoke really nicely about Florian, and I thought you were very sportsmanlike about what he had achieved. Okay, on the day he won the match, fine. But how difficult is it to, or is it just a natural thing to be so positive about that? Because I've found that some of the comments you make are quite positive, and sometimes,
Um,
life
I,
isn't perfect, of course, but it's
Yeah, I mean, in terms of that match, if I'm 100% fair, I think what made a difference a bit in that game was that my semifinal day before started much later, because we started after Julian Boyko's game against I think Vinny Calabrese. And
I
I
think you're
think
right.
yeah, I think they went to decider, and it was a really long game. I mean, it's no one's fault here, so let's just put it straight like that. And we started, I think, a couple of hours later. Our session was last session, so we started something like 8 p.m. or half past. So and we finished around 1 a.m., 1:30, when Florian could have a little bit more rest. I'm not saying much more, because his game wasn't very, quick as well. But that was maybe partly my mistake as well, because I was 4-0 up in semis, then it went 4-3, and I had to win it 6-3, but then it could have gone even longer. But as I said, that's no one's fault. It's just how it happened, and yeah, I had way less rest. As I said, I wasn't like 100% fit before the tournament, which probably influenced me not to have rest, even more. Because when you're fully fit and you need to sleep like couple of less hours, you maybe cope with that better. But anyway, I think when the match started with Florian, we went toe to toe, like it was pretty close, and I knew that it will be really important how I start that game, and I needed to start strong, maybe to even go, in front, because I knew that most likely I will get tired much quicker than him, so I needed to go in front to put him under pressure. He was very likely to come back anyway, but I needed to do that. And first four frames were like all decided on pinks and blacks, and it went two each. So I think that's where I lost that match. Because if it went like 3-1 or 4-0 to me, then maybe it could have been, that kind of close match until the end. But because it went two each, and I was a bit tired then already, and I think he was okay, uh, he just started playing better, because that's what you do when it's an important match and you have energy, and I just didn't have any after that. So Yeah, all credits to him because it's not a gimme even. Doesn't matter who you play. Uh, if you can start playing so well from two each, to win 10-3 and to really make big breaks almost every frame. I mean, absolutely all credits. And as I said many times when it happened, he fully deserves his place. I mean, there are definitely, uh, you know, there are not so many players who deserve it so much as him, to get on tour. Uh, that's why, you know, uh, as I say, like, why should I be negative about someone fulfilling their dream or their goal? I mean, obviously, I wanted to achieve mine, but uh, yeah, I'll just try next tournament.
And this tournament was coming up later in the month. But you mentioned a few things there that I thought were quite interesting. Well, quite a few things, very interesting even. They You mentioned about winning multiple frames in a row. So during the event that you won in Leeds, yes, it was in Leeds. During the semi-final, you came back from, well, you forced a decider and you won in a decider. In the round before, you won in a decider.
Yeah, yeah. Both matches, I was 1-3 down.
And in the final, you were 3-0 up. Ryan Thomason brought it back to 3-3. But even then, like, this is a pressure situation because to lose 4-3, having led 3-0, that surely would be tough to take. But to overcome this moment and to, if I'm not mistaken, let me check actually, I believe you hit a century break in the decider. Yeah,
Yeah, yeah.
according to snooker.org, you hit a break of 119 in the decider. I mean, this shows that you can handle pressure.
Yeah, that match, that final is not a good example of how I feel around the table, and I'll explain why. Because I think I said earlier that's probably one of my best matches I've ever played. Because the way how I scored was for me was absolutely insane. Because I think that in uh, in 4 frames I've won. I made 4 or 5. 60 plus breaks and 2 centuries. So I literally, like, I felt like I couldn't miss a ball. If I got the chance, I just cleared. So why I say it is, I think when I was 3-2 up in that final, I made some 60 and I missed an easy ball to easy match ball, like really easy match ball. And not because I was stressed, but because I focused on something different already. Just lost the focus a bit, and Ryan cleared. And normally I would fall under insane pressure after that, and maybe I never win a match from there. But on that day, in that moment, I just felt like I really need one potable ball, and I will just clear the table. So I just needed one ball. He gave me a long red. I stunned it in, got on black, and I just cleared the table with 119. I never felt like I'm gonna lose. I just need one ball, which goes, and that's it. And it's a really rare situation for any player in any sport when you feel kind of, invincible. When you just play and focus on the game and you never even think about anything around it, psychology, score, nothing. So that's not a good example to analyze myself because it's really hard to recreate. You really get those kind of matches like very rare. And well, it's obviously maybe it's a skill to make it happen more frequently, but uh, I don't know. Never heard. I never really saw in any sport, even top players, play their big game very often. Like normally, you get something like average or a bit better than average. You expect more, but then I don't know, Ronnie or Trump or someone comes out and plays okay, makes 1 or 2 centuries, but like nothing so special. Like not the 2019 World Final from Trump, or I don't know, from Ronnie. Just pick any game where he played his best. I mean, yeah, it's tough to recreate. But what was really how to say a good example for me was quarterfinal and semifinal when I came back from 1-3, where I wasn't even close to playing my best. You know, that were type of games where I really had to, you know, push myself every step, because in semifinal I was already so tired. I was playing for around, I don't know, 9 hours, maybe six in a row. Didn't eat. I had a stomachache. I had a headache. Uh, I really, it was tough to move, literally tough to stand up from my chair. And when I was 1-3 down, I already felt like I have absolutely no energy to even move a step, not just play, to move a step. And the fact that I could come back from there was like really important for me, because it was something new for me, you know, not to just come back, because like you can have that type of comeback quite often. Like two players are fresh, one starts quickly, goes 3-0 up, then second wins 4 frames in a row, that's it. But when you're so tired after such a long game and your opponent is really playing better than you, and you don't play anything good at all, and then you just start, you know, just pushing yourself step by step with difficult shots, with, you know, refusing some shots that I would normally go for, just, you know, to give myself a little bit more of a chance, you know, to win. And the way a couple of frames ended is in quarterfinal when I was 1-3 down. I think we had respotted black, and I doubled black, not in the middle, but in the corner, like uh, from the ball cushion to right corner. And in semifinal, I had a frame when my opponent potted cue ball on the last black. So there were, you know, a couple of frames which could easily go different way, and it was like question of millimeters, not even, you know, decisions or centimeters. It was like literally like millimeters. So yeah, just to push myself through these matches was really, you know, important for me.
Or even to push yourself physically, mentally, and
Yeah,
emotionally, maybe is the most important factor, really, because as you said in your match against Ryan Thomason, you lost focus just for a second and you missed match ball, and then the match
yeah,
was at risk, really, because if Ryan has that opportunity,
yeah, oh, yeah,
so
obviously.
maybe he
But
wins. It's
what's funny is that after that semifinal, where, as I said, I was really like struggling physically, like everything was in pain. I only had 30 minutes between semifinal and final, just, you know, to go to my hotel room, which was like 5 minutes away. So basically, I had around 20 minutes. Uh, like not really. I don't remember. I didn't have time to eat, maybe a little snack or something. But I was so much in pain. I was so much struggling. Uh, and then when I came back to play final, I didn't really expect anything from myself. And for first 3 frames, I don't know how quickly I won them, but I made like four 50 plus breaks and a century in first 3 frames. And that was the most fluent snooker I played ever, because I just couldn't miss. Then it started getting a bit more scrappy, as we discussed. But first 3 frames was like, uh, I don't know if I ever played as well again, because I just did anything that I wanted.
the reason these matches are so important is the opportunity to return to the main tour. What is the feeling amongst? Well, maybe you can only speak for yourself, but there are a lot of good players on the Q Tour, very very good players, and the fact that you won an event and the fact You finished fifth overall on the Q Tour Order of Merit. This has got to give you confidence that you'll make it back sooner rather than later, right?
Yeah, to be fair, self-belief is very important. I can tell you. I didn't really have any when I got on tour first time. Uh, I wasn't expecting myself to win Europeans that year because I think I didn't even practice before the tournament. I just came to play, like no expectations. My wife was pregnant. Uh, I I still I cannot really explain how I won that, but uh, self-belief is important. Just this season, uh, pick up anytime this year. I didn't have any, and the fact that I won the event, got to the final, had a couple of decent tournaments. I think six reds, Europeans. I got to quarterfinals. Um I mean, if I could do all of that being that low, then I think if I feel a little bit better, I can do much more. And I kind of know what I'm capable of. Like I never forgot that, but it's tough to prove it when it really matters. Um, so these kind of results um, in that kind of difficult season really helped me, to tell myself that, listen, you are capable of it. You can do that. Just play. Like you were so low and you still managed to win big tournaments. I still consider that Q Tour 1 my biggest win. Uh, doesn't matter that Europeans gave me the card, but this was the biggest win. Uh, and uh, and even that final. I mean, uh, I was spending more time moving from one flat to another than practicing, and I still, could get there. Um, so yeah, why not?
And you have been somewhat open in the past about sometimes you have struggled with the mental health aspect of life, maybe. And snooker, I guess, is a big part of that. I still believe that it's not a subject which is acceptable to speak about, and maybe this should change, especially among men. If you're in a pressure situation, how do you overcome these feelings if you are feeling negative in a match? Because this could derail the match, and then if you lose one match, maybe a downward spiral will begin. How hard is it to overcome these feelings?
Yeah, you see, the the thing with me is that before I got on tour, I didn't really have a lot of competitive snooker at all, and I think that's quite a rare situation for a professional snooker player because most of UK or Chinese guys, they kind of compete all the time. I mean, in UK you always have pro-am tournaments. In China, I think you have like everything everywhere, just because there are so many players. And when I got on tour, uh, I maybe only played really Europeans once a year, maybe sometimes, Q tours or challenge tours or something like that. But I didn't really have experience of losing much because if I played something in Estonia or in Baltics or somewhere here, most likely I win uh, like everything, or even if I lose, it's like a rare situation. And when I got on tour, uh, it was hard, to rebuild myself, to make it kind of habit to lose, because you're almost meant to lose there every tournament. Like even if you're a top player like Trump or Kyron, or like if you take this season, John Higgins, Mark Selby, you maybe win two or three tournaments a year, but all the other tournaments you lose. even if you are top player. So when we come down, to me, you're almost certainly gonna lose every tournament, and hopefully not every match, but you're gonna lose a lot. That's the point. And you have to uh, make it like a new normal life for yourself. Like, this has to become normal to lose. It doesn't mean you have to accept that you're gonna lose all the time, no, but you have to accept the loss as if it's, just the next chapter of your career. um and this was difficult to rebuild myself, and I don't think I had a lot of luck with good draws as well. Uh, so I really started losing a lot. I had maybe two or three really good tournaments in these 2 years, but all the other time I mostly lost in round one or sometimes round two. Um, so it was, of course, it was tough, to uh, make yourself comfortable in those conditions. But I think I learned really a lot from these 2 years. And when I had this tough season, tough mentally, more mentally than in terms of game, uh, this experience really helped me. Uh, like it has two sides. It's probably one side is that dropping out of tour made it really difficult for me mentally on the one side. But on the other side, all that experience I got from being on tour, it helped me to, to keep myself up. And even when I was in the lowest low in November, uh, and I needed medical help, and needed some advice and make some changes in my life. Um, I still, I think that I managed. Uh, the process isn't finished yet, just to be clear, but I think that I managed to, to do those first correct steps, the steps that I needed, because it's not that it works same way for everyone, but um, I started, trying to listen to myself, because maybe that's the way how you get out of mental difficulties. Because most of mental difficulties, I think, come from being in a conflict with yourself. Because something is wrong for you, not for how people accept or something, but you really have to start to listen to yourself. And once you understand what you really want, what you need to change to make it maybe a bit more comfortable for you, then you start moving in a good direction. And that's actually interesting when I see, for example, Ronnie, yeah, moving to uh, Hong Kong or Saudi Arabia or somewhere, like, moving somewhere, doing some stuff he wants to do, tells me clearly that he's really trying to listen to himself. Like, there might be millions of reasons why he does that, but at the end of the day, uh, it's his life, and he's like not really a young boy anymore. He's almost 50. Uh, and he had quite a bit of fame, in his life, and uh, a lot of success and a lot of money and uh, spectators and everything. And here it can really bury you when you have so much around you. It can bury your own feelings, your own emotions, what you are interested in this life, because if you do your job for like 30 or 40 years, it might really start be kind of boring for you, unfortunately for your fans. But yeah, I really see. I think I see his, his steps out of his, mental difficulties, and maybe there are a few players who spoke about mental health. Mark Selby, for example. Uh, with Mark Selby, I don't see that much, but maybe he's just not showing it because, you know, when Ronnie does things, he likes, people to watch him do that. And even when he moves somewhere, he tells you about it so that you know that he moves somewhere. And Selby is maybe a different type of a guy who will not tell what he's, changing in his life. But it's really important to listen to yourself. That's my point. And when you really start hearing that tiny voice in your head, which tells you, well, I want to do that, please, can you do it this way, not that way? Then maybe it starts being a bit more, easy to cope with all those difficulties around.
And you mentioned Mark Selby there. So, yeah, you're right. Mark Selby has been open about struggling mentally. Ronnie O'Sullivan, of course, has mentioned it. Tom Ford is another example who's been very open. Does it help to know that you're not alone and that it's it's not abnormal? It happens to a lot of people. So does this help? And the fact that very prominent players like Mark Selby, one of the most respected players in the game, for him to say this, it kind of makes it more okay. Does that help in the solidarity sense?
Yeah, of course. And for me personally, it was important. I realized when I did that, but it was important uh, to say it out loud, because before I did that, I really felt, as if little child is closed in a fully dark room, uh, cannot see around, doesn't have anyone around. While I had people around, and I felt it, but it was still, it's mentally, it's uh, really hard. And when I had those couple of, discussions with close people, like with my wife, and then I sort of said it out loud on Twitter, and I kind of, opened the window, then I opened the door, then I came out of this room and, just started moving away from it because, uh, as I said, it is really easy to bury yourself under all those circumstances. And it is very tough to start moving away from them. Um, and in some sorts it might really change your life, your attitude, uh the way you behave, what you do daily, uh but it is very important, to make those first steps. And obviously, when you know that there are people who have, you know similar similar problems, and also like struggle to cope with them. And like if you watch the results, so it's obviously seen when players like Mark Selby and Ronnie O'Sullivan really struggle on the table. You understand that, like, most of the spectators will be like, "Oh, they're just playing bad," but there might be reasons why they play bad, and you never see that when you just watch the tournament or on Eurosport or on TNT or on Discovery Plus. Anywhere you watch it, you just see the game. Uh, and maybe you see sad face, but you don't know why the face is sad. Yeah, and it's obviously, I think the more it is discussed, uh, and maybe even the more reasons are brought in, from different perspectives, uh, the easier it will be, not only for sports persons, but for, everyone around to fight those struggles.
As snooker fans, we only really see the outside. It's difficult to know, and it's the same with all sports, I guess. We hear it about with football in the UK, we hear it a lot. We hear it with tennis as well. You're a big tennis fan, I believe.
Yeah.
Yeah, and it's difficult to remind ourselves as fans sometimes that snooker players, tennis players, football players, they are people. And nobody is perfect. Nobody is immune to problems. So I think it is important that fans keep that in mind as well. Luca Brissell was an interesting example for the last 2 seasons because many people thought that maybe he's struggling with mental health. But if he wants to say this, that's his problem. If he doesn't want to admit it, that's his problem. That's his life. It's his decision.
Yeah.
But there was a lot of speculation about maybe he's missing tournaments. He's not trying. He needs one snooker and he gives up the frame. Is he motivated? Why is he not motivated? Maybe it's just the way Luca plays, but I suppose it's Luca's business what he wants to tell people.
Yeah,
It's his
yeah,
life.
yeah, obviously. No one should ever try to kind of push that information out of person, because uh if someone has problems but feels like he doesn't want to, or her doesn't want to speak about it, then it is the way it is, because it's kind of important to make your personal decision on that. When you do that decision, it might really help you to speak about it. But if you don't want to speak about it and someone pushes you, then it might make it worse. So why do that? Maybe you need more time, or maybe, yeah, everyone is so different. Everyone's character, mentality, uh, psychology is so different. And it's like uh, a really thin line, in terms of what helps one and what uh, destroys someone else.
One of the big talking points on the Q Tour for the past season was Zhao Zintong. So he won the Q Tour Order of Merit. He won 4 out of the 7 events, and then he becomes world champion. I spoke to Florian Nussler recently. He said that Zhao Zintong was, in his words, too good. What was the feeling amongst some of the players about
Yeah,
his inclusion?
again, if I'm 100% honest, I think from some point, almost everyone felt like, yeah, that's uh, the number one spot in rankings is done, because he's just playing too well. He's the kind of top 8 player, at least in terms of his quality. And from what we saw recently, he's like maybe top 3 in the world after Judd and Karen. Um, he like it's obviously a big discussion. Like, what should you do with player like that when they drop off tour because of the ban and then they need to come back? Uh, how you make it fair when he dropped off tour, like, not because he was bad or he had low ranking points, but he was like, I don't know, top 8 player, and he was banned, and then he needs to come back. What you do with him? Because like you cannot give him tour cards straight away back, But at the same time, if you put him on Q Tour, you just ruin whole season for players on Q Tour, because it's obvious, like, as clear as day, that he's just much better than everyone on Q Tour and that he will win. So basically, you take a possible tour card away from Q Tour players. So as I say, easier decision for me is just make more tour cards for Q2 rankings. Like why, you know, give them like to random players, like the probably well, at the same time, like it's Q Tour Europe, yeah, so it's not Q Tour Global. So how can you put many cards on Q Tour Europe? But I mean, or you give them more to global playoffs, like give them to finalists as well, or something. I don't know. But yeah, it was obvious that, like, I'd say 99% that he wins that rankings card. Uh, well, at the end of the day, as we see, uh, it turned out to be a bit different, and Dylan got the card for the rankings. But yeah, kind of whole season was not about Q Tour, but it was about Zhao, which is like, I have nothing against Zhao. I was actually rooting for him to win the Worlds, but it just makes it even more funny, the fact that we had to play him on Q Tour, and yeah, he was kind of too good for players like Ronnie and Mark Williams and everyone else, but we still had to compete with him. Well, I didn't have to play him, but if you ask me if it uh, killed motivation a bit towards the end of the season, of course. If I say otherwise, I will never be honest.
It's like football seasons where there is one team that runs away. So this happened in France and Germany and Italy for many years. PSG, Bayern Munich, Juventus won the league like 8 years in a row or something like this. It does kind of kill the competition a little bit, and everybody
Yeah,
feels that they are fighting over
absolutely.
silver medals and bronze medals. And I suppose for fans as well, this is just as important because fans like to see close fights. In any sport, we like to see close competition. And yeah, I mean, he played well. There's no other way to say it. He played really well. And obviously, he was playing well because the man is the world champion now. And there is a lot of controversy over the ranking for next season. So he's ranked number 11 in the world now. But an amateur can win points. I forget the wording in the contract, but a lot of
Uh,
players are unhappy that he will keep his ranking points for next season.
like if you ask me about what I think that there is only one problem in all the topics that we discussed, and it's the system, which I think doesn't really work nowadays anymore. It maybe worked in the past, but it should really be rebuilt a little bit. It obviously needs some thinking, and it cannot be done straight away. But something should be changed. For example, uh, just before world's qualifiers, they were taking amateurs, and they took most of amateurs from Q School order of merit. Which for me personally doesn't really matter where I'm in Q School rankings and in Q2 rankings, but it's a bit weird because everyone from that Q School order of merit competed on Q Tour, and there is a fully finished season on Q Tour already with rankings, and it isn't considered more important than Q School, which happened a year ago, which is like for me it's really weird. Uh, so yeah, the system has to change because it doesn't work on many levels with Zhao, with those, Q School Q Tour rankings, which is more important. Where do we uh from where do we take players to compete in different tournaments? Like system has to be more transparent, just so that when you compete, you understand how everything works, and it should be easy. Maybe shouldn't be close tour anymore. Maybe there should be like qualifiers on different levels. Like let's say you have English Open, but make something like amateur English Open, where low-ranked pros compete against amateurs. No, you should don't need to call them amateurs. Like it should be like second league or something. I don't know. Doesn't really matter. But I mean, so that you just understand system better, know that it's like kind of cherry picking somewhere, or I don't know, like with Zhao, like you have a Q Tour player who then comes and wins World Championship quite quite easily, you know, with not a lot of struggle even, and and there would never be that discussion about amateur winning World Championship, because like only new person who never watched snooker thinks that Zhao Xingtong is an amateur player.
Yeah,
Is just a joke. He's top 8 player in the world at worst. Top 5 or top 3, or maybe world number 1 in a year. You know,
maybe
like you
soon.
never know. He's just so good. He's so talented. You know, just to call him amateur is a joke. And there are many players who are obviously worse than Zhao, but still like players like, I don't know, Mark Joyce. Take Mark Joyce, and you call him amateur. Uh, he was like top 30 for many seasons, and he's
Yep.
a decent player still. He like made 147 in playoffs. Like you never call that kind of player amateur. Like yeah, he's not in 120 28 or something, but he's in an he's in an amateur. Like it's a joke. I mean, and when Yang Bintao comes back in 5 years, is he an amateur? If really, like he's a Masters champion. I mean, oh, he was banned, but like, okay, I can understand that, you know, that name name calling when someone drops off the tour because of rankings.
Mhm.
Okay, but when a player is banned while being top 8, and then literally second tournament he plays after coming back, he wins world championship. Amateur?
It's not. Yeah,
He's
that's.
like best player in the world. Is closer than an amateur, you know.
Yeah, it's a pretty good amateur. Yeah, it's.
Yeah, decent.
Yeah, we'll say he's decent. That's a yeah. He's decent. He's okay. He's okay. Yeah. What are your plans for the summer? So obviously you have Q School coming up very soon, and well, hopefully.
Yeah, it's quite easy. I have Q school, that's why I don't have any idea.
Okay.
It really depends. It really depends on how I perform. If I manage to win the card, then you know my plans. If I don't manage to win the card, then well, it really depends. Uh, if I can still get, you know, sort of sponsorship to compete, then I play Q tours and stuff. If I don't, it will be more difficult. But yeah, to be fair, uh, at the moment I really try to focus on Q school, and I will try to give it all, and we'll see if I'm good enough.
I wish you all the luck in the world for that.
Thank you very
Thank
much.
you for your time today. I really appreciate you taking the time to speak about these topics because not everyone will feel comfortable talking about this, and I accept that completely. Some people are, and I appreciate you sharing. And if it helps somebody, maybe that's a good thing. So,
Yeah, of
yeah,
course, hopefully.
yeah. I wish you luck for Leicester, and you're always welcome back on the Snooker Hall podcast.
Thank you very much, and I always expect a call from you. Yeah,
I'll see you
yeah.
soon.
Okay, thank you.